Greetings all, and welcome to the 14th episode of TM Tactical Movement. For today, we will be taking a look at the Agility, Barrier, Amnesia, Rest, Power Swap, Guard Swap, Speed Swap, Power Split, Guard Split, and Gravity techniques. The Agility technique is effectively little more than a bit of a mind game that the user plays on itself to enhance its abilities. By relaxing the muscles and allowing their minds to take full control over the motions, Pokémon using the Agility technique can make themselves feel much lighter than normal, in turn allowing them to attack much more quickly than before, and critically increasing their speed stat, about twice as much as normal. Although the move is classified as a second type move because it uses the mind to enhance the body, the Agility technique is learned by a wide variety of Pokémon, and is the perfect move for nearly any trainer to use when a significant boost in mobility is needed to overcome a difficult opponent, which helps to explain why it was made in TR12 for Silphco's first set of TRs, and eventually converted into TM04 in the 9th generation line of TMs. Attacks and techniques that raise a Pokemon's speed stat or lower an opponent's speed stat are highly recommended for dealing with the Agility technique. As one might imagine, the Barrier technique involves using psychic energy to generate a defensive shield around one's body to protect against physical damage. Although the Barrier technique works very similarly to the Reflected Light Screen techniques in that involves generating an energy shield with psychic energy, the protection provides a bit more specialized than either of those moves. For one thing, a barrier is only placed around the user, so its effects can never be extended to partners in battle, but it also likewise cannot be reduced in effect as a result of allies. Moreover, the barrier is designed to reflect only kinetic energy outward and away from the user, but also to an exceptional degree, in turn critically raising the user's defense stat about twice as much as normal. This makes the move less effective in multi-Pokemon battles than most trainers would like, but in one-on-one battles, this technique can certainly make life for physical attackers extremely difficult in any battle. Attacks and techniques that raise a Pokemon's attack stat or lower an opponent's defense stat are highly recommended for dealing with the Barrier technique. In humans, Amnesia is generally considered to be a bad thing because of the limitations it places on the human mind. In the case of Pokemon, this is usually true, but there are nonetheless many species of Pokemon able to induce temporary amnesia within their minds. This act helps to purge all bad thoughts and worries from them, in turn allowing the minds to recover and granting them a comforting sense of inner tranquility. From the outside, this seems to be the extent of the move, and is otherwise no more effective than a splash technique. In truth, however, this relaxation has a tremendous effect on the user's ability to take damage from special attacks, in that it critically raises their special defense stat about twice as much as normal. The exact reasoning behind this is still a bit of a mystery, but it is thought that the art of forgetting helps these Pokemon raise their mental strength without compromising themselves in any other major fashion, which in turn allows them to cope with the otherwise non-physical effects of damaging moves. Regardless, this move can more than make life difficult for special attackers, and can certainly give defensively weak Pokemon the opportunity to survive much longer battle than they normally would, even if it does seem completely useless from afar, which helps to explain why it was made into TR17 as part of Silphco's first line of TRs, and then TM128 for the 9th generation line of TMs. Attacks and techniques that raise a Pokemon's special attack stat or lower an opponent's special defense stat are highly recommended for dealing with the Amnesia technique. Much as its name suggests, the Rest technique involves going to sleep in order to recover energy and eliminate any negative status conditions. It is common knowledge that rest is an extremely efficient way of recovering lost energy and restoring the body to better health. In combat, this same principle is applied to great effect with the Rest technique, in which the user literally forces itself to go to sleep. In doing so, the user will recover all of its energy and will further lose any negative status conditions it may have been inflicted with, as it was replaced with sleep. Interestingly enough though, the sleep status is different from traditional sleep status conditions because it is timed. Since the user is responsible for putting itself to sleep, it will automatically wake up a short time after using the move, usually about 3 combat turns after using the move, so the effects are far from long-lasting. The fact that this move always takes this much time to recover can make it a poor choice in shorter battles, but for the sake of survival and endurance, the Rest technique is a universal move that nearly any Pokemon can come to learn and use effectively in practice, making it the bane of all types of fighters without question. Its universal nature made this move a wide choice in the eyes of Silphco when they started releasing TMs, and was thus released as TM44 within their first generation line of TMs. The move's instant popularity made the move a true staple among the company's resources, cementing its position as TM44 within all successive generations of TMs, including the recent Sinnoh Special Edition set, but minus the 8th generation line, where it switched to TM21, as well as the 9th generation line, where it became TM85. Unless recovery techniques are somehow blocked, the user's ability does or can be made to prevent the sleep status condition, or sleep is directly prevented or removed for the move, there is no way to directly counter the effects of the Rest technique. The Power Swap technique is a poorly understood move whose exact functions are still somewhat limited, but nonetheless can come in handy during the course of a battle. In a Power Swap technique, the user utilizes its power of psychic suggestion to form a conduit between it and a nearby target, within which any changes to their attack and special attack stats are swapped before the connection is broken. While perhaps simple to employ, the power swap technique is a specialized move that few trainers will be able to make much use of in practice. Even so, if the opponent enjoys using attacks and techniques to raise its offensive stats, this move can at the very least help turn whatever advantage they might have right back against them, which helps to explain why it was made into TM60 for Silphco's 8th generation line of TMs and TRs before it was discontinued the following generation. Due to its unique attributes, there's no way to directly counter the effects of the power swap technique. As with the power swap technique, the guard swap technique is a poorly understood move whose exact functions are somewhat limited, but nonetheless can come in handy during the course of a battle. In a guard swap technique, the user utilizes its power of psychic suggestion to form a conduit between it and a nearby target, within which any changes to defense and special defense stats are swapped before the connection is broken. While perhaps simple to employ, the guard swap technique is a specialized move that few trainers will be able to make much use of in practice. Even so, if the opponent enjoys using attacks and techniques to raise the defensive stats of its Pokémon, this move can at the very least help turn whatever advantage they might have right back against them, which helps to explain why it was made into TM61 for Silphco's 8th generation line of TMs and TRs before it was discontinued in the following generation. Due to its unique attributes, there's no way to directly counter the effects of the guard swap technique. Just as with the last two, the speed swap technique is a poorly understood move whose exact functions are somewhat limited, but nonetheless can come in handy during the course of a battle. In a speed swap technique, the user utilizes its power of psychic suggestion to form a conduit between it and a nearby target, within which their speed stats are swapped before the connection is broken. While perhaps simple to employ, the speed swap technique is a specialized move that few trainers will be able to make much use of in practice. Even so, if the opposition enjoys utilizing superior speed to outmaneuver and outlast its opponents, this move can at the very least help turn whatever advantage they might have right back against them, which helps to explain why it was made into TM62 for Silphco's 8th generation line of TMs and TRs before it was discontinued the following generation. Due to its unique attributes, there's no way to directly counter the effects of the speed swap technique. The power split technique is another poorly understood move whose exact functions are somewhat limited, but nonetheless can come in handy during the course of a battle. In a power split technique, the user utilizes its power of psychic suggestion to form a conduit between it and a nearby target, within which their attack and special attack stats are added up and split evenly between both creatures. While perhaps simple to employ, the power split technique is a specialized move that few trainers will be able to make much use of in practice. Even so, if the opponent enjoys using its strong offenses to batter down an opponent after an opponent with little worry, this move can at the very least help turn whatever advantage they might have right back against them. Due to its unique attributes, there is no way to directly counter the effects of the power split technique. Similar to the power split technique, the guard split technique is a poorly understood move whose exact functions are somewhat limited, but nonetheless can come in handy during the course of a battle. In a guard split technique, the user utilizes its power of psychic suggestion to form a conduit between it and a nearby target, within which their defense and special defense stats are added up and split evenly between both creatures. While perhaps simple to employ, the guard split technique is a specialized move that few trainers will be able to make much use of in practice. Even so, if the opponent enjoys using its strong defenses to weather the blows of an opponent over and over, this move can at the very least help turn whatever advantage they might have right back against them. Due to its unique attributes, there's no way to directly counter the effects of the guard split technique. The gravity technique is a unique move whose actual mechanics are a bit of a mystery, but from what is known, the move is a devastating blow that can make life miserable for many different types of opponents. The gravity technique essentially involves user utilizing either psychic or electromagnetic energy to generate a massive polarity field that acts like a false gravity field, and effectively intensifies the effects of gravity for about 5 combat turns before losing its effect. During this time, the increased gravity sharply lowers the evasion of all present Pokémon about twice as much as normal, and any attacks that require the user to leave the battlefield upward into the air, including Bounce, Fly, Splash, Jump Kick, High Jump Kick, Magnet Rise, and Telekinesis, are prevented, and any Pokémon in the midst of one is brought straight back down to the ground. Moreover, all flying-type Pokémon or those that are somehow able to avoid the effects of ground-type moves are stripped of their immunity and become vulnerable to them, as well as the Spikes and Toxic Spikes moves and the Arena Trap ability. Together, this makes the gravity technique a potentially devastating strike that can easily set the playing field level for all kinds of opponents and create opportunities for both sides that would otherwise be unavailable in battle, which is probably why it's converted into TM178 for Silphco's 9th generation line of TMs. Aside from waiting for it to wear off, there's no way to directly counter the effects of the gravity technique. That's it for this episode, so stay tuned to the next episode of TM Technical Movement.
Thank you all for watching this video. It always brings me great joy to see others enjoying the work I do to try and make the world of Pokemon and the fascinating creatures that lay inside of it feel as real as they possibly can. If you really enjoy my work, please feel free to leave a comment and subscribe, as I always do my best to respond to any and all comments that are left on my videos. In addition, if you wish to learn more about my work and help support it, you can find links to my Patreon page, as well as email and other contact information to my work on DeviantArt in the video description down below. Furthermore, you can find a link to my Discord server there as well if you'd like to get a first glimpse at what videos are coming up next and converse with other fans of the world of Pokemon. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and have a wonderful rest of your day.